Hey guys, what's up, cycling fanatics? It's time for my second Q&A video. I'm in Mexico City right now, flying up here 2 days ago, and I'm going back this afternoon. You guys have been sending in a lot of questions, and I've done my Q&A video about a month ago. Instead of just doing it here in my hotel room, which would probably be a little bit boring, I went out into the city yesterday and I tried to find some spots to answer a bunch of questions yesterday. Tony M, he wants to know where I leave my bike in Los Angeles. I stored it at a friend's house and I just can pick it up right there. So I'm sorry, I cannot recommend you any public storage. Another question, why I travel so much between LA and the Netherlands. That's because it's my job. Kay Reed says, yo, why do you skip breakfast, amigo? I skip breakfast because I do intermittent fasting. It means that you fast for a period of 14 to 16 hours every day. And I start eating at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon until about 10 to 12 at night. Be Fit and Cycle asks me, what goals do you have in cycling? I want to win. Ricardo Luz, what kind of software do you use for editing the clips? I use Adobe Premiere. What do you prefer, training old school or interval training? I do both. I don't know if you mean with old school like long endurance on a very low intensity. I think the combination is the key. Kikito asks me, what is your favorite climb in Europe? I don't know. I've done the Alpe d'Huez, Telegraph, Galibier, Grandon, Vaugigny, of course Mont Ventoux, and a couple more of those. Mont Ventoux was the most awesome. You guys can check out my video about Mont Ventoux. I want to go to the Stelvio pretty soon. Okay, next question. If you want to know where I am, Victim, and he wants to know how to train for a 190-kilometer bike ride. And apparently there's quite some elevation in this ride. I would say, personally, I would want to be able to ride 190 kilometers. But if this is going to be like a Grand Fondo and this is the event you're training for, doing 150 would be enough, or maybe even 130. But make sure you can easily do it. For the climbs, don't go too fast. If you have a long ride, stay out of your red zone. Stay well below your threshold. 15 to 20 beats a minute below your anaerobic threshold on the climbs, and then you should be okay. How do you progress for this training? Add 10% in the volume every week. Every third week is a rest week, so decrease the volume by about 60% and then step it up the week after. Akram Ali, he asks, how do you keep your muscles safe when you ride for such long distances? It's hard. Like, eat enough protein to keep your muscle and try to stay training while you're riding your bike. So in the period you're not doing as much weight training as you would do in the winter. Keep training, and then you'll keep your level as much as you can. Tekken Girl Tech Stuff asks, how many bikes do you have? A lot. I've one Aeroad, I've got a Fuji road bike, I got a Giant road bike, I've got an old Koga Miata which I transferred to a Fixie, a mountain bike, a BMX bike, commuting bike, and I've got a motorbike. So that's 8. Megan L asks, how do you descend safely? Should I be grabbing the front or rear brake or both? It's not rocket science. Your front brake is your main power. When you brake, the weight's gonna shift forward, so the grip is on the front wheel, not the back. Grab the front brake and the rear brake at the same time. Don't grab too hard. Increase pressure, squeeze harder, harder. You can really squeeze hard, brake hard, build up that pressure until you're decelerated enough. Then smoothly release when you're going to do the turn. German Andreas Morales España asks if I'm happy with my Mavic wheels. I think they suck, they don't brake well, they overheat in the descent. On the flat in the Netherlands they're fine because you don't have to brake for long. And why are the holes in the rims? The spokes actually go through the carbon cover into the rim, and it's aluminum rim inside. So the spokes go all the way through, attach on the aluminum rim. I think it's too noisy here. I'm gonna find another location. Okay, I found a new location. I'm in a park here close to the hotel. David Pinney, he wants to hear more about my diet. My diet is fairly simple. I don't eat very special food. I eat normal food. Bread, I eat chicken, I eat rice, I eat potatoes, I eat vegetables. I don't especially go for like quinoa or whatever kind of berries or all these so-claimed superfoods. I just keep it simple. In general, about 20% protein, 60% carbs, and then the rest will be fat. Fat is healthy. Fat is not bad. So some days I eat more fat, some days I eat less fat. It also depends on what kind of training I do. The days I do more like weight training, strength training, I'll eat more protein. The days I do a lot of cycling, long endurance, I'll eat more carbs. But as I have already mentioned, I do intermittent fasting, so this has nothing to do with what you eat, but it's all about the timing when you eat it, and I've already answered this in the previous question. Moving to the next. Any suggestions for routes in Europe? That's what Warren McKay asks me. He's coming to Germany, Switzerland, France, Belgium, Netherlands. Go to the French Alps. Alpe d'Huez, Galibier, those are the big famous climbs. They're amazing, great views, just go there. Switzerland has amazing climbs. The Netherlands, stay in the south because it's more hilly. Check out the route from the Amstel Gold Race. I haven't done it, but it should be a pretty good way around. Hello.
Una pregunta. ¿Habla español?
No. Another question from Kieran KD. He wants to know if I factor in safety for helmet choice. So yes, but I think all helmets you can buy in, at least in Europe, have a certification. So when you buy the helmet, they need to be at a certain standard. Of course, there's a difference. I recently crashed my helmet, but I'm still riding it. Officially, when you crash your helmet, you should buy a new one. I think it's a pretty expensive joke. Have I answered this already? How old am I? I'm 27, turning 28 in 2 weeks. Familie van Waveren asks me if I want to become a pro cyclist. I'd love to be a pro cyclist. I was pretty close to being a pro in BMX racing. I was training like a pro. I was riding races like a pro, but I didn't have like a big contract earning money. But I was doing the whole professional life and I loved it. So yes, I would like to be a pro, but with my current job, being full-time pilot, I think it's not going to be enough to be like a pro cyclist at some kind of, you know, world tour team or whatever. Emilian Bain, what's your true job in life? My true job in life is to be happy. Be fit and cycle. What up? See you around here a lot. Are you a better cyclist than a pilot? Hard question. Can't answer it. There's too much of a difference. I'm gonna leave it with that. Peter Stojsavjevic. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Were you always a strong rider when you were younger? Or did the power come later? Okay, I'll take you way back. I've not been road racing for my whole life. I started BMX racing. I started when I was about 4 years old. Back then, I was just cruising around. I didn't care about winning. I was pretty much losing every race. And then when I was 12, I became national champion for the first time. And from that time, I was really focused on racing. So progressing from the age of about 15, I started doing weight training, and that's when you get stronger. And when I was racing junior men in BMX, I was really powerful. I was out of the gate like a rocket, always, every time. So yeah, I was really powerful rider. Okay, Harm Dijkstra asks me, how much do you train in a week, and do you also do core and back exercises? I train pretty much every day. I train as much as I can. I don't train on certain days when I have to work and I've been in a plane for 16 hours and I get home. Then I don't train because I go to sleep. Do I do core and back? Yes, check out my strength training video. I do specific core exercises, and of course the strength training I do is very much for my back too. Paul Hayden asked me if I watch other YouTube channels. I do. I check out Cycling Maven, he's pretty cool. I know the vegan cyclist, I've checked his videos a couple times. Shane Miller, Australia, he has a good channel. We all know GCN, I watch them too. I think they're getting pretty commercial right now. They have very good content, but I don't always agree with them. Bullfry, what's your favorite place to ride your bike? And how often do you clean it? I clean it when it's necessary. If it's dirty, I clean it. If I've been riding my bike outside and it's been raining, it gets very dirty, I try to clean it because it gets into your chain, gets into your gears. Everything will wear out a lot faster, so I don't like riding a dirty bike, so I clean it. As for what my favorite place is, at this moment it's Los Angeles because the weather's so much better and they have nice scenery to ride. There's nice mountains, you can train uphill, I can train downhill, and I have very cool people to ride with as well. Back home in the Netherlands I'm pretty much doing all my training by myself and it's all flat. And the weather is less. So the Steven video, how much pressure I put in my tires. It depends. It depends on the race, it depends on the course, it depends on the weight of the rider. Don't copy what I do. To give you an example, some criteriums on very bumpy roads. I was riding with 6.5 bars. The time trial race I did a couple days ago, I was riding with 8.5 bars. So adjust your tire pressure to the course you're racing. AMC 387 asks me, how much does your job as a pilot help or hinder you in training? I can tell you this, it helps me because in general I get a lot of free time, I've got free days. It helps me because I go to places where I can ride in the winter, for instance Los Angeles. But it hinders me a lot because I can't train when I want. Sometimes I'm in a location for 3 days in a row where I can't do any training. So that's 3 days of nothing, and then I'm home for 4 days and I can do 4 days of maximum training, but that's not ideal. You want to even out your training. Consistency is very important. So it doesn't help me with consistency and it doesn't help me with the jet lags either. I do a long flight every week, so it means I've got a jet lag every week and I miss 1 out of 7 nights pretty much every week. I fly the whole day, I get back home, I try to do a nap 3 to 4 hours and then that's it. That's your night. So it doesn't help with recovery. That's a very important thing. When you rent a bike, what measurement do you take for your setup? The measurement from the top of the seat to the axle of your pedal when the crank is all the way down. This will cover the crank length as well. Rexel asks me, how do you ride with no hands? Dude, I've been riding bikes since I was 4 years old. I can do anything without hands. I can ride my bike over speed bumps without hands. It's just practice. Practice a lot, you'll be able to do it. Jules, how many kilometers do you ride average in a week? I try to be around 300 to 400 kilometers, but sometimes I do a little less, sometimes I do a lot more. Sharky1, any tips on breathing going uphill? If you go uphill or downhill or flat, it doesn't matter. Breathing has to come from your belly, that's important. Try to get your rhythm, try to get a breathing rhythm and keep it and breathe from your belly. Vic Keulemans, with what kind of plane are you flying? I fly a Boeing 747. Helder Meyer has a TT coming up next week. He doesn't have a TT bike, he just has a regular road bike and he wants to know if I have any tips. I would say check out my video and try to get your bike as low as you can in the front and get an aerodynamic position. So tuck in your head, tuck in your shoulders, get aero and go fast.